Welcome back to the Cousin Brothers Podcast. It's your boy Matt.
I'm John.
I'm Caleb.
And our special guest, Riipndip, aka Wes.
What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
So today we have a very different episode. We are diving into the realm of kind of interviewing people. For those of us who are new to the podcast, we don't plan shit. It is all just a D1 yapathon. So we have some general questions, but for the most part, we're just gonna sit here and yap about our day-to-days.
Yeah.
But first, Caleb.
Yep.
New bit on the episode.
Yeah. Let me grab it. Hold on. Here we go. So I went to Goodwill. And I like looking at the books at Goodwill because sometimes you find really cool books that I haven't read in a long time. And I'm like, oh, I want that book for my box of books. I don't have a bookshelf. I found this book, which is all of Donald Trump's tweets for his entire first presidency from January 20th, 2017 until he was banned in 2021. And it's a big book. Very big book. This was $4. And yeah, from now on, I'm just going to pick a random page and I'm going to ask them.
For the first day, I want you to turn to page 69.
Shut the fuck up.
That was actually what I was about to get to. I was going to say, I'm going to have the boys pick a page and I will go to it, find the funniest one on that page and read it.
I almost went 420, but I don't know if it's that big or not.
It is that big. There's like...
It is. There's 600 pages. Sorry, almost 800.
Gee.
For reference, in the future, you're going to pick anything from page 782.
Nice.
Page 69. My other goal is to go. I'm going to work through this book slowly and highlight my favorites. Let's see. The electric power grid in Puerto Rico is totally shot. Large numbers of generators are now on island. Food and water on site. Welcome back at Steve Scalise. I combined two different ones there, but I thought it was funny.
Was this during the time when Puerto Rico had that natural disaster and he threw a paper towel at somebody?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, I can tell you. We see what. Oh, I should also add what day he tweeted that. Let's see. That was September 28th, 2017. At like 8 a.m. So very cool.
Right.
Yeah, good new bit, guys.
I agree.
I agree. Yeah. We'll have to start taking tallies of different things after we start seeing, like, you know.
Ooh, we'll make a bingo board.
Yeah.
We'll make a bingo board, yeah.
1,000%.
All right, so to start us off, Rip, tell us about yourself and where you're from.
All right. My name's Wes. I stream here and there. I am a professional window washer. I own skyscrapers, and I live in Sacramento, California, the most liberal state in the world.
Hell yeah. So I just recently went to the No Kings protest here in Houston, and I kind of want to touch on that with you because I know that you also went. We talked about it kind of briefly before it happened. How was y'all's No King protest? Like, what was y'all's show out?
Dude, it was massive. I've never seen so many people in Sacramento before. I mean, I have some VOD footage because I live streamed the whole thing. But I mean, it was like over 100,000 people in just like a, 1 square mile radius. It was insane. It was like compact. People were screaming. It was right during the Pride parade where I live. So it was massive.
That's insane. Houston only had like a 20,000 people turnout. Still a lot of people, but it's probably one of the larger protests that I've gone to in Houston, which is saying something. But it was downtown at City Hall, and City Hall is in Houston, where it's like there's no residential areas in downtown Houston. It's mainly business. So the fact that there was that many people kind of surprised me, and I reached out and made a bunch of friends there, as you should at protests, and I people came from like as far away as Conroe, which
Oh
is
my god.
probably like 45 minutes from downtown and like an hour and a half from where I live.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That's
So
epic.
people came like really long ways, and I know that some people were double dipping protests. So they were doing the one in downtown Houston, and then there was one here in League City where we kind of stay around that was also happening, and then there was one in Katy, I believe, and no, there was not one in Katy.
There's one in Cyprus.
Oh, dude, Katie's such a hub. I can't believe that they didn't have one.
All Republicans.
This is true. This is true.
Can't
So
win.
that's the other thing. We live in like a blue county, but definitely in a red like sea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nothing
Yeah.
but mainly red down here.
yeah.
You guys are that one beam of light surrounded by darkness.
Yeah.
Let it be
So-
known.
Do y'all have like obviously like you do blue collar work? Do y'all have a lot of blue collar work out there, like oil based or?
No oil stuff because it's illegal here, but we have like when it comes to like construction working, like concrete, whatever, like grading, whatever we have so much of that out here. It's a big thing. That's like what keeps our economy going. Like the tech world is more in the like Bay Area. We call it Silicon Valley. It's like it's Santa Clara down, and like that's where all the tech buildings are. I mean, we've had a really big problem lately with people because of COVID. People are relocating from their tech jobs to Sacramento and buying out our homes and whatnot because they're making that tech salary from the Bay, and they're coming to live here, spending way less on our economy, which is kind of like flooding us. So we have to work more to keep up with the economy, which kind of sucks. But most of the tech stuff is in the Bay. We do have remote people out here, but most of people in Sacramento are hardworking, especially in the greater regions.
So a follow-up question to that, because I mean, obviously here, everyone who's blue collar, like hard worker in Texas, hardcore Republican. So what is it like out there for blue collar workers? Are y'all
It is mostly Republicans out here. It is insane. It's hard to fathom because Republican, like traditionally the Republican Party treats the working class the worst out of everybody, and it's hard to describe how much these people are brainwashed into like, yes, let's work. That's what we do. We're hardworking people and we do it for our country. But like in reality, you're working for, them, the higher class.
That's
The
insane.
bourgeoisie.
I can't even fathom somebody in California being like Republican. Like it's a hard like thing to.
I can see it, but I see it like basically in the same sense as like people here who are like a more democratic, more liberal side of the thing, like living in not in Houston, because Houston is like a whole mixing pot. I'm talking about like someone who like let's say was like in Santa Fe or like the more rural towns, and they're liberal, they're democratic, like they're just they're surrounded by nothing but Republicans. So I can see it happening.
Yeah,
Most of the time,
fair.
those people they keep to themselves. They do their things. They're not trying to pick no political fights because they are just very like outmatched. But vice versa, also, if it was a Republican, I could probably see them still picking fights on.
Yeah.
Trust me, I go to work every day and there's someone spouting off about some false information, and I'm like, oh my gosh, these people every day.
Yeah.
So have you, because you guys have a lot of construction out there, have you guys noticed like a a migration of most of the workers out in California? Like, have you seen like less people working at job sites as a result of everything
Yeah,
that's going on?
yeah.
Because
I mean,
we've seen that around here a little bit, but California is probably, especially in an area with a lot of construction, probably a lot more apparent.
it kind of seems like everything came to a halt for, I mean, obvious reasons. People were scared to go outside. It's it's a more, it's on a pause, I'd say, because of what's going on in the world. The construct, we were just talking about this at work the other day. I mean, we're pointing out this should be worked on, this should be worked on. You see all these cones, but you don't see any workers, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's a struggle out here. I mean,
Oh,
oh.
there, guys, your camera broke.
I think they completely disconnected.
Hold on, let me check on him. I'll face him right now. See if he picks up. Did their internet go out, maybe?
Oh,
you're
they're back. No mic, no audio, no audio.
No audio. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
I just hear him say, fuck.
Yeah. I'll ask some questions. So did you grow up in California?
I did. Born and raised, Sacramento,
They
California.
killed my shit. They killed everything. Sorry.
He was talking and you're interrupting. You're being rude. He's telling us how
No,
he
no,
grew up
no.
in California.
What killed your internet?
No, John bumped my desk and it was enough to disconnect my camera, and then it was like, oh, actually we lost connection to everything. And it was like, oh, okay, cool, sick.
Okay, how I grew up in California. Yeah, so I was born in Sacramento, California, and I moved away to Northern California, more northern. People consider Sacramento. It's a whole debate. Anyways,
Yeah.
Grew up in Clear Lake, California, which is like, it's the country, I'd say, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I moved back here when I was 13, I think it was, or 12, and then been here ever since. I did move away when I joined the Conservation Corps. I did that for a year, and I went up to Ukiah in like the Mendocino area, Fort Bragg, like Glass Beach, all that. Built bridges, did salmon restoration. That's kind of when it was like my like moment where I knew I was like, I gotta be a voice, because no, that's like my main thing is like I want to be a conservationist. Like I'm trying to defend the things that can't defend themselves, if that makes sense. And joining the Conservation Corps really opened up my eye and like made me aware of all these problems that our country's going through, like the greenhouse effect and all those the bad things that we can't control yet, besides cleaning up what we've done. And I mean, from growing up in California to that, like, I don't know, maybe it's the system that made me this way, but I think we should be doing something for the our ecosystem, and our, like I said, speak up for the things that can't speak up.
So, I guess, was there a moment? Was it like an epiphany moment, or like you were like, "This is what I was meant to do," or was this just something that you always like, since like almost basically since birth, you were like, "This is what we're supposed to do."
I think it was when, if there was a moment, it probably was when we were dragging logs of the mountain into the creek beds and laying them down. I'm like, holy shit, I'm making a difference. No matter like who can't see it, like I'm creating these habitats for these fish to lay their spawn and then continue, because salmon there, it is such, that's what they say grew the redwoods. Salmon going up stream, laying their spawn, dying, washing up on the shore, the riverbanks, and then the trees being fertilized and making these beautiful trees. There's only one place in the world that has redwoods, and that's the Northern California coast in Washington. Like, if there was a moment in my life where I was like, I gotta do something about this, it was then. And now they're talking about cutting funding to conservation in California. What are we going to do if there's no conservation? You know, all these oil spills and stuff. We're the people that clean those stuff up, you know? We're the people who, you know, I was there for the August complex fire during all these lightning strikes. You see, it was the biggest fire in California's history. And you know who helped us? It was the Cal Fire, U.S. Forest Service, like all these smoke jumpers, and then the Conservation Corps. Like Conservation Corps is the backbone to all, you know, all the work that goes into like preventing wildfires and all that stuff. I can ramble on all about it for days and days. But if there was a moment in my life where it was like, this is what I want to do, it was then. It was laying the habitats for these fish, because I realized it's bigger than you and I. And the Native Americans saw that, and it's sad that we can't.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. I never even knew that.
So one of my good like one of my best friends in the world, Luke. Shout out Luke. He goes to school for I forget the exact degree name, but it's for National Park Services. And he was one of my more Republican friends who has kind of had a switch flipped in him since he's been off and working in these national parks and learning all of these things. Um, do you have any friends that have had like a switch flipped in them down there, or are you in a space where you don't have to surround yourself with people of different ideologies, if that makes sense?
There's this one person, I'm not going to name names, who's like, they came from out of state. Like, the Conservation Corps is a program within the state of California that builds up young workers to make them men and whatnot. It establishes them, I should say. Anyways, this guy came out super Republican, like duck hunting. Like he had his squatted Ford truck from like the 80s and like had the Yee Yee sticker on the back. I'm sure you guys see that a lot. Yee Yee. Yeah. And this guy, he was dude, he was a troll. But I mean, one of the moments where he was like, yeah, I think I'm on the wrong side of this, is when he was like, I gotta join the type 2 firefighting crew. And he busted his ass. He tried to, like, it's hard to explain to somebody who denies this stuff all the time. Like, I don't believe in this, but then he wants to do something badass, and then they would have to understand why this stuff happens. That we don't have fire fuel prevention measures and any of this stuff, and you have to vote to make this stuff happen. And he came to that moment, and he saw, like, when I was going there, I was in the Conservation Corps during the election. Like, it was a crazy moment for everybody because it was all mixed alive, like, into one pot, and to see like all these outside perspectives. And I mean, his moment where it was like, holy shit, I'm on the wrong side of things, was like when people were like straight up arguing. Like, I remember people were arguing all the time, and it was like open conversation because it needed to be. Like, we were 18, 19, 20. You can join from 18 to 25, and you could be from, like this guy. He came from Missouri. He's a firefighter, super Republican. By the time he left the Conservation Corps, he was definitely, at least left leaning. I wouldn't say like maybe he was middle, but
Yeah.
he wasn't as far as right as as he when he came in. And that was because of the influence there by the people who go there to do better for conservation purposes. And I mean, it's like, let's say, for example, I'm washing a window, but I don't know why I'm washing a window. It's like, why am I washing a window? You have to understand the reason why you're washing that window is because it's dirty.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's a matter of time that people just like if you're surrounded by it, it's gonna come soon enough, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem that we have down here. Kind of systematically, we're surrounded by people who, for me and Caleb at least, like utterly disagree with us to the point to where they don't think that we should be here, and it's become almost a chore to attempt education for some of our more Republican friends, and it's become such a chore for me. I have a friend group that I've stayed in contact with since like middle school, basically, and I've noticed over the last probably 4 years them just become complete strangers to me. Like we talk every day, and I don't recognize them anymore because they become so indoctrinated in the alt right pipeline so much
Yeah.
more every single day that even having a conversation with them turns into like a text to screaming battle of like, no, you're wrong, you don't know what you're talking about. And I've changed a lot over the last 4 years as well, to the point to where I don't ideologize myself as a liberal anymore, because I no longer have empathy for people who reject education because of this friend group. I have no sympathy for the fact that they're going to lose their jobs anymore. I don't like one of my friends is probably well on his way to being disabled, and he's not going to get that check now because of this bill that just passed. And I want to feel bad for him, and I know that sounds funny because I could just easily have empathy, but I just don't. He openly voted for this, touts it all the time on his Instagram story. It's just like I I can't sympathize for you when everything that you voted for comes true.
Right.
So
Exactly. I can't agree more with that statement because I mean, you voted for this,
Yeah.
right? I hate that, and I see it all the time too. The Republican, or I wouldn't say Republican Party, but the Republican side is all just like rage bait. It's all like, let's get these people as mad as possible, and then when it like something happens that makes them mad, it's like, we told you so.
Yeah.
Like we were saying this the whole time, and you're just getting mad about it. So
little off topic,
Yeah.
but us talking just about the Republican Party and stuff like that kind of got me onto it. But I love when you see like it's like Nam and Uncle Pete Pop posting on like social media or stuff like that, and it's always it's like the early 2000s like chains email bullshit where it's
Yeah.
like the devil can get 10,000 likes, but how many hugs can Jesus get? And then it's like, send a hug and
Yeah.
prayer to let Jesus know you're on his side. And then at the very bottom, it just has like Donald Trump attached to it for like no
Yeah.
reason
Right.
whatsoever.
My child will scroll past this without clicking like.
Yeah. And like for whatever reason, it's like they just throw Donald Trump and then like, this message has been approved by the party of Donald Trump.
Well, it's because
Which is really funny because it hasn't.
Yeah, what's
Right.
funny, how that's happened is Republicans have false idoled so hard that they've lost the plot of Christianity as a whole. And so what they've done is they've replaced Jesus Christ with Donald Trump. They're synonyms. They're no longer separate entities.
Donald Christ, yes.
Well,
Yeah,
actually, they
Donald
are
Christ.
separate entities, because if you tell them this is not what Jesus would have wanted, they'll tell you no. my Lord and Savior Donald John Trump.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, the second coming of Jesus Christ.
He is Jesus Christ. No, so okay, Wes, you may not know this.
Jesus isn't
So
white.
I by all accounts should be a flaming MAGA head. But if you look at this, like everything that's happened to me in my life, I should be. Like, I grew up in Texas. Look at me. I'm a very white man.
We both
And
grew up in the Church of Christ.
We grew up in the Church of Christ, and I went to Bible college.
Biblio college?
Yeah, I went to Jesus school. I should not be
literally
Republican, but I'm probably one of the most left-leaning people you'll meet, which if you actually pay attention to, what Christianity is supposed to be, makes a lot of sense.
Right.
But that's not what we want Christianity to mean, because then I can't own the libs.
I can't say Jesus Christ was a white man and y'all all got it wrong.
What do you mean he's not white?
What do you mean?
I'm white.
What do you mean? That was his first miracle, was being a white guy in the Middle East.
Yeah. Big tall white guy. Big tall white guy.
With long, luscious hair.
Stood over everybody else as the biggest, tallest white man in the land.
Yeah.
Coming in at a honking 7'7".
Shut the fuck up, dude.
A lot of people don't know this. Jesus played ball in his free time. He invented the
played
wheel
the Lord's game in baseball. I saw him steal home. Except he didn't steal, because that would be a sin.
He took catcher's permission.
I saw him take safe passes.
He said,
home.
"Hey, Mr. Pitcher, can I have that?" The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. He gave you a run for your money, and he took home base.
And then died for our sins.
That's right. Right on home plate. People don't know this. Nazareth is actually home base.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
It's all
People don't know this, but Mount Calvary is the stands of Fenway Park.
He did. So Jesus gambled, right? And he really promoted gambling, hardcore promoted it.
Are you trying to justify gambling right now?
I mean, a little bit.
Are you trying to use my sweet innocent baby cousin to justify gambling right now?
I mean, I don't need to use him. I mean,
hold on. Let's consult.
No,
no, he did not.
Hold on.
Hey, no, hold on. It is Sunday. Give him a chance.
Yeah.
Let me cook here.
Let him cook. Pastor Caleb cooking.
Let me go to my appendix.
Let
me go to my appendix here. Yes, qubits.
So
I don't know that there's a physical, dedicated gambling's fine.
Gambling is fine.
Okay,
Jesus gambled. Jesus gambled.
Gambling's not even in my appendix, John.
See, so it's fine.
All right, man.
No, Jesus didn't gamble.
Well,
I don't know where you got this idea that he gambled.
He gambled with his life. I know exactly where the fuck he's going with this. He gambled with his life.
He didn't gamble. He gave it away.
He gambled with the faith of other people to believe in him.
Oh my god. That's not what that is.
That's
an
a stretch.
interpretation of the Bible. That is the worst interpretation of the Bible I've ever heard. That is worse.
Fine.
All right.
I am no longer a sinner.
John's doing sacrilege. We gotta move on. John's doing
you
sacrilege. We gotta move on.
After Jesus died, they removed his clothes from the cloth, and the soldiers who nailed him to the cross gambled his clothes with dice. Matthew 27:35.
The soldiers that killed Jesus gambled, John. You're still not right.
Yeah. You're even more wrong.
But Jesus forgave them.
All right, pal. You're done.
That's true. Okay, he's doing sacrilege. We need to move on.
So wait, hold on. Let's pause. How close? I also was interested to going to Bible college, because I grew up in a Baptist church, and that was kind of like where we were raised. My parents are left. They're super religious. This is like prior to like Trump and Hillary. This is like when things were normal. And I believe that. I believe it. I really think things were normal prior to Hillary and Trump. But I was super interested in going to Bible college. What made you stop?
Why did I stop going? COVID happened.
COVID. Okay.
We went home, and then so I went to college in Missouri. I went to a place called Ozark Christian College. It was in Joplin, Missouri. And then we went home for spring break, and then they're just like, hey, actually don't come back. Your residence director will schedule a time for you to come and pick up your stuff. We're not coming back to school this semester. And they were just doing online courses. And then I just did that for a while. And online courses is weird, right? Because I can't sit still in the classroom, but I have a hard time with online courses because it's hard to remember to make myself do it. And so I just ended up not re-enrolling. I just kind of stopped. And then that was 5 years ago.
Dang. Just like all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy that it happened for, a Bible college. I would think they would be like, screw the COVID. Screw the COVID.
No, because a lot of the professors were kind of old people.
The beginning
and some of them were getting sick.
Extremely like misconstrued because like the entirety of the public opinion of COVID is mainly the latter half of it. Like, why the hell are you locking us up? Like, this is treason and shit. But like the beginning of COVID was taken very seriously by most states, I would say, because even down here in Texas, like we took that shit pretty serious, probably for the first 10, 12 months.
And then
no, not 10, 12 months.
Like, you can't wear no mask. Was it? Yeah, Governor Abbott was like, if you wear a mask, you're gonna get in trouble. Or is that did that never happen?
That was later.
That was much later.
It wasn't like
it wasn't like a real thing.
It wasn't like a real thing. He was just like, don't wear a mask around me type beat.
He was just like,
he was maskophobic.
You sissy boys out there wearing those masks. You see me? You see me? I'm an all-American.
I shoot a tree, I will sue you.
But no, we have people to this day they're still like just walking around with masks down here like nonstop.
I think that's good.
Really? Yeah.
I think that's a good thing.
Especially me and John both work at NASA, and there's a bunch of people in our building that like wear masks pretty religiously, actually.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing. I think especially if you go to like heavily populated areas like conventions or ball games and stuff like that, I think it's a great idea to just like there's a thing called con crud. Like you just get sick.
Yeah. I remember my mom when COVID was going on, I like kind of hesitated to get the vaccine at first, and then I was like, nah, fuck it, like whatever, like it's not that big of a deal. And I went and got the vaccine. My mom was like, you're gonna kill us all. Like she like had like a whole flip out about it. She was like, you're gonna get like a microdose of it and give it to all of us. And I'm like, I'm glad that you know that that's how vaccines work, but also you can prevent this by going and getting the vaccine. She's like, no, I'm not getting that shit.
That's also not how that vaccine worked. It was a different type of vaccine.
She was thinking of like a flu vaccine, and she was freaking absolute balls. And then after that, she was like, after a while, she was like, so you just went and got that vaccine for a disease that doesn't even exist, even though I got it. Like,
I've had it a few times.
Are fake.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. You know what you're talking about.
Dude, have you seen there are studies coming out about like how like COVID has like significantly morphed parts of people's frontal lobes?
No.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. Drop that in the Discord, please.
Yeah, I'll
frontal lobes will never be developed.
Shut the fuck up.
Mine, on the other hand.
Did you never get COVID for real?
Never got it.
Dude, sick.
Really?
So I got the first vaccine, and I felt fine, never had any problems, and then I just went living the rest of my life post-COVID, never getting like any COVID symptoms basically the whole time.
I got COVID after I got the COVID vaccine, and I wasn't like sick, but for like 3 days. But I lost my taste for like 3 months. I could not
Really?
taste or smell for like 3 months. It was
Oh,
awful.
dude,
Yep.
that sounds terrible. I didn't get
Yeah,
any
here you
side
go.
effects.
Long COVID review finds long COVID patients experience executive function impairments, impacting tasks like shifting, inhibition, and working memory, affecting daily lives.
Holy moly!
It synthesized findings from 31 studies and found that patients with long COVID often experience impairments and executive function, including the things I just said. These impairments led to challenges with nonverbal reasoning, executive aspects of language, and recall, which significantly affected their ability to manage daily tasks.
What is long COVID? Is that this way or this way? What the fuck is long about it?
Okay, that's not no.
It's COVID
But,
the
yeah.
long way.
Yeah, studies have observed that like structural changes in the brains of individuals after COVID-19 to just like reduced gray matter thickness.
The thickness.
Which, yeah, the thickness of the gray matter. Which,
shut the fuck up.
Which, those changes are often associated with like impaired cognitive function.
Damn, girl, are you a scholar?
And like neurological
that
changes.
Thick as fuck, you know what I'm saying?
I hate you.
How do I kick him out of this?
Oh god, I hate you.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think we all know COVID sucks, and I think it will continue to suck.
Yep.
Yeah.
We still have not like we still don't fully understand the ramifications of such a disease.
So, though, Matt shared his story. Caleb, you also coming from a very, Republican side of a family. Like, how was your parents' reaction to you getting the vaccine?
Well, at the time I lived with my grandparents, so it was encouraged. My granddad is pretty liberal. And my grandmother has dementia and is immunocompromised. So, they were both like, yeah, the most you can do, like, please, like, do whatever you can. Because like if either one of them got sick, they're both in their 60s. Like my grandmother, I think is turning 69 or 70 this year. Hold on.
His grandparents are
Look at this old. She's turning 71.
Same. Basically, like 15-ish years from me, give or take. For my parents, 15 to 20, depending on which one you're talking about.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Crazy.
my grandma's turning 71, and my grandpa's older than her.
Yeah.
So, which is crazy to think that they're 71. In my head, she's still like 56.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
not
that's
anymore.
good,
That's just got dementia.
You did the right thing, and like your grandparents were completely okay with it. I was living at home still, and I went to go get mine. And I went to go get mine for it's gonna sound bad, but the pure purpose I got mine was because I was supposed to be traveling abroad. I was gonna get it at some point in time, but it just was like I was supposed to be traveling abroad. You had to have it to travel abroad. So that was like, oh, I gotta go get it now. And I went to go get it. I was gonna go visit my sister in Italy because she was out there with her husband stationed out there, and I hadn't seen her in years. I was like, you know what? She's in Italy. It'd be a good time to go. I'll go see her. Never been to Italy, so that'll be nice. So I go to get the vaccine, and I came back, and
John.
Yeah. My father was just like, my God, you would have thought I had just like drug a dead body into the house, like, and just left it bleeding like all over the floor.
You're dead to him,
bro.
Oh no!
He was like, you seeing the stuff on the news about this, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I got it. And he was like, why?
What?
Why would you do that? you don't know anything. Why would you do that? And I was like, hey, I'm trying to go see your daughter, my sister. You have to have it to go see it. Well, you don't know what, you can get sick and die from it. And I was like,
all right,
I can get sick and die from anything, really, though. Like, I mean, if we're being honest here.
We're not being honest.
So, Caleb, just like a heads up, just so you know, his stepdad John, who he was living with at the time, is basically my dad.
Oh yeah, they're like the same person.
That sucks.
Like, ideology wise, they're the same person. Oh my god.
I think my dad's starting to go around that rabbit hole too.
We're not
Whenever-
talking about my dad on the podcast.
But
No, we'll talk
One
about
day he might watch this episode and freak out.
my dad real quick because I know he doesn't even know this exists. So I did early voting back in October of last year. And because of where I will leave out why, because the government may see, I have to go vote in a different place. So I stopped by my dad's house because it's pretty much on the way. And I was going out there with my brother.
Mhm,
And so I stopped by my dad's house and I was like, "Hey, what's up? You know, whatever." And first he's like, "Hey, you look like you've gotten fatter." And then I was like, "Wow, thanks." And then he said, "Anyways, let me spend 20 minutes telling you why you need to vote for Donald Trump."
See,
And
Was-
the
was your
entire
dad-
thing was the economy, and he didn't like Kamala's tax plan. And I'm like, "Well, do you understand it?" And he said, "I understand it enough." And I said, "If you understood it enough, you would know that it was good."
I understand these nuts.
He's got that like business bro mindset of like, well, what if I make $1 million? Then I'm gonna get taxed. And it's like, well, you're not gonna make $1 million. You'll never see $1 million in your lifetime.
So
But what if, Caleb? You don't. That's the big thing down here in the Bible Belt. What if I win the lottery and I don't get to take my money home?
was your dad like always? I guess did he always vote, or did he just start voting when like Donald Trump showed up on scene?
It's kind of hard to. So, my parents are divorced, and I lived with my mom.
Yeah.
And up until 2019 or so, I really was not very politically aware, like at all. I didn't really know anything about it. Like I lived with my mom. I couldn't even tell you if my mom voted. I don't know. But I know he voted in 2024, and that's all I know about my dad.
Gotcha.
But he's a low propensity voter, which if you don't know what a low propensity voter means, it means they don't vote in midterms or special elections. They just vote in the like big one every 4 years.
Okay. Yeah. My stepdad, he was the same way. Never voted before. Never registered to vote. Didn't. But as soon as Donald Trump showed up on scene, what's it called?
Suddenly, he's the biggest American on the planet.
Well,
Yeah.
The funny thing is, like, I feel like in 2020, like, or like a little before that, like my dad wasn't like, he's not like a MAGA guy, which is the interesting thing. Like up until a year or two ago, I wouldn't have ever even really thought of my dad as Republican, like more independent leaning, slightly liberal. But I was wrong.
When I think of David, I don't really think of like a MAGA hat like my dad.
Yeah, but like, I guess you think you know a guy, I guess.
So I just don't care about the government because I don't like the government, right? So
He's a contrarian just for vibes.
I hate the government. I hate everything they do, and you know that whole shebang. 2020 election time, my father, I'm getting ready to get to work one day, and he's like, "Did you vote yet?" And I'm like, "Did I vote yet?" And he's like, "Yeah. Did you vote yet?" And I was like, "No. You got to get out there and get your vote in. You got to make sure your vote gets in." And I was like, I'm not voting. And he was like, "It's your American right to vote, and you have to vote. What if Donald Trump doesn't get in?" And I was like, "Dad, I'm not registered to vote. I'm not even registered to vote." I was like, I can't vote at this point. I'm not registered to vote. I haven't gone through the process to it. I can't." And it was basically I'm not mad, just disappointed. Like, and I was just like,
That's crazy.
I was like, "Sir, like, I don't like the government. I don't vote. I'm not gonna vote. But you would have thought, my God, you would have thought I came in and just stabbed him straight in the heart myself.
Yeah. All right. I don't want to depress Wes anymore. Let's change to something lighter, more fun. Let's stop talking about politics now. We got 15 minutes. Let's crush this. We'll do more politics next week. Okay.
All right.
Wes, you grew up in California. Have you ever worn cowboy boots?
Yeah. It
Did
was.
you wear them unironically?
No. I was 6 years old, and I wore them at my aunt's wedding. Yeah, that was about it. I have a cowboy hat in my car though. I like listening to country music, so like when there's a festival in town, hold on. There's some good country music out there.
Yeah,
I said no more politics.
Listen to Morgan Wallen. You want to throw a chair off a roof? You can do that.
What?
I don't know. You lost me. You lost me.
Dude,
what do you listen to?
Hates Morgan Wallen, dude. I hate Morgan Wallen so much.
Get me back to God's country.
God's country.
I would assume that since you guys are in Texas, you're kind of surrounded by country music. Is that not the case?
It's a real problem.
We are very much surrounded by country music just because you don't fucking listen to it.
Nah.
I don't listen to country music because I don't like... I have classifications of country music. There's certain artists that I'll listen to. Like I'll listen to Tyler Childers and Coulter Wall. But other than that, like there's no new artist that I listen to. If I'm listening to country music, it's like Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash, Dolly Parton. Like stuff that my pawpaw used to play in the truck with me.
Stuff he's going to go listen to after this podcast.
Yeah, actually, the concert I'm going to today is Bob Dylan and Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's sick.
So, I mean... birthday. Bob Dylan's his favorite artist.
Bob Dylan, man. That's crazy. Yeah. And Willie Nelson?
Yeah.
Because... Yeah, let's go. That was my question. Like that's what his concerts are known for. So
yeah, 100%. And it's an outside concert because they know that if they do it indoors, everyone will be contact high.
So the venue that Matt is going to, I also went to a concert to last year, a year before, and it was a Snoop Dogg concert for the exact same reason.
Yeah,
dude, that's so funny.
The only time I went to a concert where they were kind of unaware that people were going to get contact high was a stadium concert at the Toyota Center, and it was for Kid Cudi. And I don't know what the fuck they were thinking having Kid Cudi being in a stadium, because that entire place could have lifted. Like the entire building could have lifted.
713 Music Hall for Young Gravy and Baby No Money. Everyone was contact high.
Yo, I didn't even think about that. Oh my God.
Especially
I saw
so small.
I went to see Jelly Roll last year, and it was indoors. We don't have any outdoor venues anymore. But, dude, it like the whole place smelled like, because I went to a basketball game the next day. Dude, it reeked so bad in that place. So bad.
Yeah,
that's kind of awesome, though.
Like sometimes when they're putting they're like, especially down here, they're like, no, it's not legal down here. No one's bringing that in. It's not legal.
Yeah, it's weird. I've never been to a concert in Texas that it didn't smell like weed.
Yeah.
Like at all.
Yeah, even like a normal one.
So it's weird that they are like,
because even like,
oh, it's not gonna happen in here, not in my country.
Because like even when they like do like indoor ones and like they check your bags for like they do check sometimes for like lighters and stuff like that, and you're like, okay, but then those people just have dab pins and they don't take the dab pins. They're like, oh, this is my vape, and they're like, oh, you can't hit it in here. Don't you be hitting that in my building. And then next
immediately,
thing you know, the whole building is just
covered. You know how people get it in, right?
Putting it like literally almost anywhere.
No. The method in Texas, and every man in Houston can tell you this for the most part, is you wear steel-toe cowboy boots and you put that shit in your boots, because they'll go steel-toe and they'll tap your toe and they send you on it.
Nobody wears steel-toe here, so we all wear Vans and flip-flops.
I've gotten booze, cigarettes, bud, like the whole nine, because I only wear boots to concerts.
Yeah.
Is it so? So since marijuana is not legal there, is it a struggle? Like, I mean, I'm
No.
not.
I,
Is it
I
like you
At least
can
not
find it
in
on the streets
the
easily?
greater area.
yeah, and
You don't have to go to the streets. You can go to any smoke shop, and they will sell you weed.
as long as they don't think you're a cop, because if they think you're a cop, they'll call you out on that shit.
Yeah,
Like,
like
so you can't go in there and you go, hey, you have that A1 flour in here? One of my buddies told me. They're like, get the fuck out of
Yeah.
here.
like
My guys told me you guys sold flour. Do you have flour? And
Are they
it's
still
like,
busting people for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's so lame. That's so
so
lame.
actually, recently, the Texas legislature recently passed a bill to ban weed even harder.
yeah, there's like
And
no
then
more like, what-
and then Governor Greg Abbott, this kind of shocked everyone a little bit. Governor Greg Abbott got the bill, and on his desk, he was like, "No, I'm not veto. Bye bye."
Wait,
Good
He
stuff.
vetoed the THC ban. Yeah, but he was like, "Hey, look, we shouldn't make this harder to get. We should actually regulate it."
Hell yeah. I think
Which
that's
is
because
good.
of like of what are those Tony Hinchcliffe and all those comedians who like smoke weed in Texas. I think it's because of those big endorsement names are there.
That's surely part of it, but also it doesn't hurt to get reelected, and also the amount of money you can get from taxes on that kind of shit.
The only
It's-
reason Crenshaw is against the legalization of hemp products is because he has big investments in the lumber industry. And so
Yeah.
that's why he like turns it down so hard, because of how much hemp grows so much faster and makes the same products as the lumber industry. He's worried he's going to lose his lobbyist buying power out of the lobbyist industry.
let me just like
Where am I gonna get my
That-
millions from?
Yeah.
necessarily, but I definitely feel like within, I would say probably like the past like 10ish years or so, there's been like a huge, I guess not huge, but there's been a shift definitely in like weed in Texas, and just like
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
becoming a
like-
lot more accepted.
yeah,
And, like-
yeah, you're not supposed to have it down here, but like also if a cop found you and you had like a small amount on you, I feel like they're definitely not as like strict as they used to be about that shit.
I honestly have no
That's
idea about
so
the
funny.
tonality shift
Yeah.
of drug usage in Texas, because I grew up, my parents are super conservative now, but I grew up pretty liberal. They were super open to drugs. Like, I have no idea about the tonality shifts.
No.
I didn't realize that wasn't normal in Texas until I started like becoming an adult and making friends that were like super sheltered.
Well, like
Well,
'cause
you
I
know where
had-
it's
growing
super
up,
legal.
I had friends who in like high school and like that, and they got caught,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, damn, like that's fucking bad, because like that was honestly like super bad. And then like within like the past couple of years, like some of the like dudes I used to work with, like at like just different jobs, they'd be like, yeah, a cop caught me, but I had this on me, but they just let me go. They just took it from me, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
That's so
Alright.
funny. You guys struggle with marijuana here, and we can buy like level 3 psychedelics and smoke shops whenever we want. That's insane to me. It's two different
That's some liberal
polarized.
shit.
Funny enough,
It's epic.
Funny enough, most of the product that we buy here comes from legal dispensaries from California.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I mean, if we're paying this prices, I can't imagine what you guys are paying over there. It is like incredibly.
Don't ask me
painful.
how I know this, because I don't smoke weed. But if I was going to buy a 2-gram cart, it would cost me between $45 and $60.
Oh, that's about average here. That's about it. Yeah.
I got a guy that's giving it to us for 30 a pop.
For
For
a 2-gram
2 gram?
cart?
Yep.
That's a
That-
steal.
Yeah,
I
it's
would be a
fucking
little worried about
I
that.
have no idea the buying power he has right now, and I'm just letting it ride out.
Yeah. But no, I don't smoke weed anymore. I used to smoke weed.
I don't smoke at all. I strictly edibles. Strictly edibles, and it's just
Oh, dude, let me tell you. Oh my god. Edibles fuck me, dude. They bend me over and take my ass. It's fucking
Because
awful. I
you're such
hate
a skinny,
edibles
small
so
little boy
bad.
now.
Huh? No,
Because
this
there's
is
such as
so funny enough. I got it from this motherfucker. This motherfucker was like a super diehard like stoner, and my girlfriend is also a stoner. And Caleb was like, "Yeah, these edibles aren't really working for me," and gave them to my girlfriend. And Maggie was like, "Well, if they're not fucking working for Caleb, they're definitely not gonna work for me." And she gave them to me, and she was like, "Don't worry, just eat the whole thing. It's bitch made for real, for real." And I was like, all right, cool. Sounds good to me. Ate the whole thing. Had to call out from work the next day because I was still tripping balls. It was awful.
yeah.
Every time I closed my eyes, it felt like I was in a fucking kaleidoscopic hellscape. It was awful. I hated
So
every moment of it. I don't touch
you
edibles
weren't
at all anymore.
supposed to take the whole thing. I will tell you that.
Yeah, I'm aware of that now, but now I'm just terrified of it as a whole.
No, okay. So there was one time we went down to. So I live on the. So the thing, we live in Houston. The thing about living in Houston is you live about an hour away from everything.
Yeah.
Basically wherever you live. Doesn't matter where you're going, it's an hour away. And so this was like 3.5 years ago now. We went down to Matt's place and we were like, hey, let's go get food. I want Mexican food. So we went to his favorite spot and we were like, damn, that's good. We went home. My girlfriend Allison and I were like, hey, the guy we go to at the smoke shop like gave us a free sample of this new edible he's carrying. Let's try some. And we were like, it's Friday night, we're good. I got so high I was throwing up in the bathroom. And then the next day my work had an event at a restaurant. Like they closed the stores early. It was like an employee appreciation event.
That's right.
So it was like 9 p.m. when we took it. The next day at 6 p.m. we had to drive downtown to go to this like employee appreciation dinner. And I was still high. I was still high almost 24 hours later. And they were like, oh, Caleb, you don't want, like they had like drinks and stuff. They're like, Caleb, you don't want like a beer or anything? And I was like, nope. I'm good.
Bro.
And like it finally wore off at like when we were at the restaurant, but it was like 24 and like I thought I had food poisoning from how bad I was throwing up, but I was just that high. And like it was like one of those like little strips and he was like, hey, take like at most an eighth of one. So like we got an eighth and then we split it in half between me and Allison. So we had a 16th of a strip. And we like, I don't know what they put in that bad boy, but we were like,
Oh my goodness. You guys sound like lightweights.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I also wasn't smoking much at that point.
My first time ever taking 100 milligrams was when I was like 19 or something. And I just remember like, I never like went to sleep or I never woke up high. But this one time I woke up in the middle of the night, I'm all, and I grab my phone. I'm like, how do I get on high?
Jesus
Dude, it gets to a point where you're like, you just gotta, especially if you've like started digesting fully. Like if it's been long enough so you can feel it, you just gotta ride it out.
Yeah.
You just gotta wait.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
I think I just grabbed like a big jug of ice water and like went to bed and cuddled it to sleep.
That's pretty okay. So Wes, do you get the munchies pretty good?
Always, dude. I mean, I spend $40 at Taco Bell almost every time I get high.
Okay, that was gonna be my question. I was gonna say if we looked at like your DoorDash or Postmates or Uber Eats history right now, what order would be the most embarrassing? Do you think?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Last night. So last night, let's see. How do you go to your
my
history?
DoorDash too? I don't on DoorDash.
Orders.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Sidebar. We're gonna have to get Wes down, we're gonna have to get Wes down here for a Houston rodeo,
Oh my god.
I'm coming
I
down
sunburned.
soon. I swear to God.
dude. We're gonna have to link up. That's gonna be gas.
So last night, because I took an edible last night, 7-Eleven. This is stupid. 7-Eleven. I got the Kinder Krispy Kreme chocolate bars,
Huge.
Baja Mountain Dew Blast, and
That's Caleb shit.
then a Little Debbie's Cosmic Brownie, and then Cheetos Flaming Hot Cheese, the Cheetos,
That sounds so fucking good right now.
and then
I'm
a mint chocolate chip cookie.
That's sick. Let's see.
Alright.
My crazy,
I have a
my
DoorDash
craziest
problem.
DoorDash recently was June 10th from Lowe's, the hardware store.
What?
I had to buy a tire repair kit on DoorDash because I couldn't go anywhere because there was a hole in my tire.
I didn't even know DoorDash did shit like that. That's crazy.
Oh yeah,
my
dude.
God.
You can order from like anywhere in DoorDash. Like you can order from PetSmart, Lowe's. You can order from Sally Beauty Supply, Tractor Supply, Dollar General, Target. You can order anything on DoorDash, dude. Anything.
What the fuck? Oh hell no.
All you need to do now is be able to buy a gun, and you're set. Texas, hell yeah.
We could
Man,
probably.
cigarettes,
I could
alcohol, and
probably
gun
order a
all
gun
DoorDash to your
before
house?
this podcast ends.
Yeah. If you have Dash Pass, shit, 20 minutes.
So a common misconception, I will say, a common misconception in Texas, at least in Texas, is that you can just go pick up a gun. Me and John used to work at one of the largest ammunition and gun retailers in Texas. It's extremely hard to buy a gun. We want to make that very clear. In Texas, it is very hard to buy a gun.
Not only is it very hard, good luck if you have any name that is common at all.
Yeah.
At all. You especially like during like I guess peak times, because there are peak times throughout the years when people buy guns. Tax return times, when certain sales like 4th of July
Right before
sale,
hunting season starts.
right before hunting
Yeah.
season, Father's Day. Those are peak times we would say for buying guns. Good luck getting your gun. Even if you end up passing the background check, good luck getting it within a month to 2 months.
Yeah. In
We
Texas,
get ours
there
in
are
10
a lot of-
days.
There are a lot of
You don't need a
restrictions out
license to
here.
buy a gun in Texas, though.
Huh?
Oh.
You don't need a license.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. You
Yeah, we have to apply for a license here and then wait 10 days and then wait another 10 days for the gun.
So you had to have a license if you wanted to conceal carry. And
Not anymore.
Yeah, no, that's what I said. Used to,
Hell yeah, brother.
but they did away with that. But literally, you just have to show up with a like current and correct ID. It could be a driver's license. It could be a passport. I think it can
You
be.
need two.
You need two.
Yeah, you need a driver's
2
license.
forms of identification.
Technically, you need this anyways, but you bring what you normally do is you bring your driver's license or ID and your social security card.
Yeah. 2 forms of identification. And then you said you have to wait 2 months?
You don't have to.
You don't have to. Most of the time, that's what it turns into.
Yeah,
so like
that's
if you
the
have
turnaround rate.
So like my name's Matthew Melvin. My dad's name is also Matthew Melvin. My dad has been arrested several times, so it's gonna bounce on to me, and they're gonna ask me questions and have me fill out more ATF paperwork, and then after that, they'll consider giving me the gun.
Wow.
My name is John. There's about 700,000 of us in Texas alone, so it's going to take forever.
Yeah, it's mainly for common names. Now, if you're fucking Luka Doncic and you come down here and you're buying a gun, you're gonna get that shit in a week.
If that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm on the good side. Yeah. Sweet. Unless there's like a lot of Westons down there. I mean, besides that, I mean,
I know
yeah,
some
right?
Wesleys, not very many
Weston is a common name
Westons.
down here.
they I mean, my name's Country. I was named after a country singer, so I mean, I hope I'm unique down there. I hope. Nope. Shit. I know like 2 Westons here, so I mean, I can't imagine what it's like over there.
I knew like 4 Westons growing up.
Damn it, dude. Damn it. That sucks. Well, it's okay. I'll buy my guns down here. I think it's safer anyway. I think that
It is probably safer.
Probably.
You can buy some shit down here that you shouldn't be able to. So I will say on that front, you got us beat by a long shot. There's some shit next
Dude, that reminds me, we need to go shooting again, boys.
Huh?
We need to go shooting again.
Yes, we do.
For the longest time, we used to have it wasn't operational, but my God, I'm sure someone could make it operational. We deadass just sold like a U.S. Army like LMG that was supposed to be attached to like a Humvee, and it was like just sitting in the middle of our store basically. And it was like thousands of dollars. It was like non-operational, but like I'm sure the correct dude could have just popped that bitch
Not
open.
to mention the fucking
fix
black
it.
powder revolvers that we sold just in boxes.
Oh yeah, fun fact: Cabela's, Bass Pro, whatever they're calling themselves now, they do sell black powder revolvers, and
Very
dead
minimal
ass,
paperwork.
very
minimal
paper.
paperwork.
You show, and this isn't just like a Texas thing. This is just a Cabela's Bass Pro thing. You show up, you walk out same day with that bitch.
Yeah. That's how felons in the state of Texas own firearms. It's black powder revolvers.
Mm-hmm.
no.
Yeah, they're exempt from
They're all shoving the rod down.
They're exempt from
my ops. Yeah.
they're exempt from virtually all federal gun laws, by the way.
Yeah.
The way God intended.
Oh my god.
Wow.
For real, just be like that.
Cabela's is a
Well-
weird place to work, dude.
Dude, I gotta go fill out some paperwork about this fucking episode now. So I gotta go tell Greg Abbott.
Are you gonna
You're gonna do the thing? You're gonna do the bit? Or
You know what else
just
is a
forgot?
weird
What
place to work for?
The podcast.
The podcast.
Later.
They stole my bit.
Yeah, fuck you. You took too long.
Baby, no money, got money, I'm a paradise. 3 scoop creatine, steam room, we could knock 3 bad thoughts, giving me triceratops. 3 short kings in the squad like Eric. I'ma take your chick like it's thief in the night. You off, I'm on, it's the circle of life. I'ma top my shit, yeah, I'm crossing the line. Yeah, I'm BB and O, one of a kind.